The mound links the new town to the old town and is a man-made land infill on an enormous scale, consisting of some 2 million cartloads of debris from the construction of the new town. The old town is still a maze of narrow wynds and streets, and the guides of the old town were known as caddies, the term still used today in relation to golf. However, cleft along its spine is the straight cobbled street known as the Royal Mile, that runs from the castle at the top of the hill to the Palace of Holyrood House at the bottom. The castle has been a military stronghold for centuries and still houses the National War Museum, and was the Army Scottish headquarters till the 1920s. St Margaret Chapel dates from 1130 and is the oldest part of the building, which has been an important royal palace with the Scottish crown jewels and the Stone of Destiny both on display. Located in Lawnmarket on the Royal Mile is Gladstone's Land, a 17th century wealthy merchant's house in the care of the National Trust, and is decorated and furnished as it would have been 400 years ago. St Giles, the High Kirk of Scotland, was built by the Benedictine followers of Giles, whose relic, an arm bone, was said to lay here until about 1577, when it disappeared. His other is at St Giles at Bruges. John Knox was preacher here, and is buried in the old kirkyard, now under flagstones. His statue, however, is in the kirk. The kirk is also home to the relatively recent and magnificent Thistle Chapel, added in 1911. Another work of Sir Robert Lorimer for the most ancient and most noble order of the Thistle. Opposite are the city chambers, underneath which, and sealed off for 250 years, is the subterranean labyrinth that was the underground home to the poor and plague victims. Continue down the Royal Mile, passing John Knox's house, which dates back to the 16th century. Certainly it seems that John Knox did live in it at some stage, but the house was in fact built for James Mossman, the goldsmith to Mary Queen of Scots, who was executed in 1573 for treason. A few yards on, and we reach World's End Pub and the site of Netherbow Port. The Flodden Wall enclosed the city, and beyond it was known as the End of the World. This was the site of one of the 6 gates leading into the old city that was sadly demolished in 1764. However, some years earlier, in 1745, the gate was opened to allow entry to some returning emissaries after a meeting with Bonnie Prince Charlie to discuss the city's capitulation. Whatever was agreed at the meeting is not known, but Cameron of Lochiel and 800 Highlanders rushed the guard and the city fell to the Jacobites.